Hello everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to bring you guys a video that I've been really excited to make in the past week or so. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden mid-November hit and now I am in the mood to read all of the Christmas romance novels. So today's video is going to be about all of the contemporary Christmas romances that I want to read this holiday season. I'm going to be making a separate video about the historical Christmas romances that I want to read. That's actually specifically going to be a TBR for the historical romance readathon that is happening around mid-December. So that video should be going up maybe around next week. But yeah, I am just really excited about all of these Christmas romances that I have on my TBR. I don't think I'm going to be able to read all of them, but I hope to read most of them, and I thought that this would be a fun video to make as well so that I could put some of these Christmas romances on your radar as well. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. The first one I'm actually in the middle of right now. This is A Princess for Christmas by Jenny Holiday. This was marketed to me as the book version of those like Christmas princess movies that you've seen on Netflix that star Vanessa Hudgens. I'm pretty sure she's made like at least 3 of them. They might even be part of a series or something. So we have our main character Marie. She is the princess of, I can't even remember the country's name. It was like Andovia or something. Sounds like Genovia from the Princess Diaries. But she is in New York City to basically do some business meetings and things like that. And so she meets our hero Leo. He is a cab driver. He has been looking after his much younger sister who's 11 named Gabby since their parents passed away some years back. And so he's driving his cab, but he's off duty. He sees Marie, our princess, struggling to get a cab. She needs to get somewhere ASAP. And so he basically picks her up because his younger sister Gabby forces him to, and he ends up being her chauffeur for her entire New York trip. And so things go on from there. This is giving me all of just the sweet New York City Christmas romance vibes. It's just so much fun because Leo is taking Marie on these really fun outings, like to go ice skating and to eat traditional American or traditional New York food. It's making me really warm and fuzzy inside. So I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of this probably tonight because I'm flying through this book so far. And then the other book by Jenny Holiday that I really want to read is one that came out really recently. This is Duke Actually. I know nothing about this book except that it is a companion novel to A Princess for Christmas, so I imagine that the main characters are going to be connected to the main characters of that book. But I'm really excited. I love the covers for both of these books. And I've been meaning to check out Jenny Holiday for a while. She does have a pretty decent backlist and I'm just loving her vibe. So I'm sure that I will be reading more from this author. So now I actually have some Christmas romances that right now are featured on Hoopla as a part of their bonus borrows. Basically, like every once in a while, they curate a list of both audiobooks and ebooks, and I think movies as well, that if you borrow them, it doesn't get taken out of your monthly limit. So for instance, my Hoopla has a limit of like 20 things that I can borrow throughout the month, but borrowing these next few books that I'm going to talk about hasn't been taken out of my limit. I hope that makes sense. So the first one, this is An Unforgettable Christmas by Jenny Baird. This is actually from Hallmark Publishing. I recently learned that Hallmark has their own publishing company where it sounds like they basically publish book versions of either Hallmark movies that already exist or stories that are very much like their kinds of movies, basically. And so this one's an amnesia trope, which I am so here for. I love that trope and I have not read nearly enough of those romances. Okay, so we have Angie. She's a widowed mom. She works at this jewelry store. Her boss is kind of a Scrooge-like dude. He's definitely a grump. He ends up getting some kind of head injury and he has amnesia. And so through that, Angie kind of learns a new side to Sam. So this just sounds really adorable. Like I said, I'm so here for the amnesia trope. The next book, which I also borrowed from the Hoopla bonus bonus borrows is The Trouble with Christmas by Amy Andrews. This is a fake dating trope, which I have also recently become obsessed with after reading The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I love the fake dating trope. Once again, I need to read more of that trope. So this is about our main character, Suzanne. Her parents are trying to convince her to go home to New York for Christmas, but she doesn't really want to, and so she just blurts out to them that the guy that is in actuality just her landlord is her boyfriend, and that she can't leave him for the holidays, so he's kind of forced to pretend to be her boyfriend. Again, that just sounds adorable. This is also a cowboy romance. He owns a ranch and she rents a cottage on his ranch. So next one is another one of those bonus borrows. This is Christmas with the Sheriff by Victoria James. This is book 1 in what looks like a romance series. The last book I talked about is also technically a part of a series, but you can read these books as standalones for sure. But it says, after fleeing her beloved small town 5 years ago, Julia Bailey is back to spend Christmas with her family. Returning is hard, and keeping the devastating secret about her late husband is even harder. But the more time she spends with the irresistible sheriff who saved her once before and his adorable little daughter, the more Julia starts wishing she could let go of the past and start a new life. These are the kind of small town romances that I absolutely love. I love when one of the main characters is trying to escape something. Yeah, that just sounds really adorable. So next up we have Christmas in the Scottish Highlands by Donna Ashcroft. This is a book that you can get on Kindle Unlimited. I have been trying to look for Christmas romances off of that service because I currently have a subscription, of course. This one sounded really like zany because Jess from Peace Love Books recently read this and really enjoyed it, and when she was explaining the plot I was like, whoa, there is a lot happening. And there truly is. So we have Belle, our main character. She just feels kind of like bored and stuck in her life, and she wants true love and a little bit of winter magic. And so she's in this like sleepy Scottish community, it says, and she runs into this old woman, Adina, with her bike. And to help take care of Adina, she takes her back to her home, which is this crumbling Scottish castle. And Adina's long lost grandson, Jack, shows up in the middle of a snowstorm. And it sounds like he's a grumpy and rude kind of hero. This sounds great. It says he's basically the Grinch in human form. I mean, who doesn't love that kind of hero for a Christmas romance? Next up we have The Lights on Knockbridge Lane by Roan Parrish. I will tell you guys right now, like almost the sole reason I'm reading this is for the cover. Isn't it so beautiful? Like lately Harlequin has been turning it out with these covers. I am absolutely obsessed. As you can tell from the cover as well, it is an MM romance. I don't know anything else other than that, and I really don't need to know. It just looks like it's going to be absolutely adorable. The next book that I'm really looking forward to reading is A Bookshop Christmas by Rachel Burton. All I know about this is that Jess is reading it right now, and she said that the heroine compares the hero to Sebastian from Devil in Winter by Lisa Kleypas, and if you've read that book, you know what kind of hero Sebastian is. And that immediately is drawing me in. I already want to read this book so bad, and I don't know anything else about it except that I guess it takes place in a bookshop. But I personally love when characters in books make comparisons to other books and other characters in those books. Did that make sense? I don't know. I'm feeling very chaotic right now. Okay, next book, you guys. I think out of all of the books I'm talking about in this video, this is the one that I am the most excited about. I cannot wait to read this ASAP. This is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. I have been really loving Tessa Bailey lately. I've read 4 of her books at this point and really enjoyed all of them. I loved It Happened One Summer, one of my personal favorite romances that I read this year. And the plot of this one sounds like Christmas romance perfection. And if you know Tessa Bailey, you know that she also brings it with the steam, which I am so here for. So the plot of this one, our heroine actually recently got released from prison. And so I think she's just randomly walking by this department store and she notices how like either ridiculous or terrible the window display is. And this guy, Aiden, just like randomly asks her opinion, and so she like lays into it and tells him everything that she doesn't like about it, and it turns out that he is the manager of this department store. I have heard that Aiden is like the perfect like sunshiny hero. He wears bow ties, but he also talks dirty in bed, so he pretty much just sounds like the most perfect man ever in existence, even though he's fictional. So yeah, mainly because of him, I'm just so pumped to read this book. Next one is Meet Me Under the Mistletoe. This is an anthology of like at least 12 short stories by a bunch of different authors. I know that Katie Robert, Jenica Snow, Pam Godwin, there's a few other authors that I can't remember the names of at the moment. So because there's so many authors featured in this bind up, I don't know that I'll read the entirety of it because I think it's probably like 600 plus pages and like ain't nobody got time for that. But I might like pick and choose some short stories, and it was free. It's still free if you go on Amazon. It's probably free on all platforms. Next one is Just for Christmas by Roxanne Riley. So I read Just for Halloween last month. Yes, in October. And this is a series of novellas that like center around some holiday, and they are MMF poly romances, and they're novellas. So they're like 60, 70 pages. And so yeah, this one just looks like it'll be a really fun time. I mean, who doesn't love a good poly romance? Am I right? So the next book I'm going to talk about is Secret Santa by Katie Wilde. This is an ebook that I bought. I think it was probably free around last Christmas and I just never got around to it. And it's a workplace romance. It sounds like we have another grumpy hero, and we have Emma, and she thinks she's going to be fired really soon by her arrogant boss Logan, and things go on from there. It does say, warning, this super hot holiday romance contains Santa hats, red satin blindfolds, and an obsessed alpha male who talks dirty and knows exactly what to do with his big hands. Lots of swearing, no cheating, no cliffhangers. Well, I'm sold. And then last but certainly not least, I was kind of looking for cowboy Christmas romances, and I came across this one and it just sounded really adorable. This one actually came out recently, October 26th of this year, and it's technically book 7 in a series, but once again, you can definitely read these kinds of books as standalones. This is Holly Jolly Cowboy by Jessica Clare. And so this is centering around our main character, Holly. She's a waitress, but she needs more income to support her sister. And so she gets this job at a local ranch to clean and cook for the cowboys that live and work there. But little does she know that her like arch nemesis, let's see, his name's Adam, he also works there. It says, it doesn't matter that he loves dogs more than people or that he's a war veteran. No Christmas spirit can save that particular Grinch. We love Grinch heroes, right? When the rest of the ranch hands go out of town for the holidays, Holly and Adam will be forced to work closely together. So forced proximity, another trope that we all love, right? So that's going to be it for all of the contemporary Christmas romances that I really want to get to this holiday season. I would love it if you would leave a comment down below telling me about the Christmas romances that you want to get to this season. And with all of that being said, I would love it if you would leave a like and subscribe. And I thank you so much in advance if you do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!